Hey, welcome. This is the Shure Aonic 4. These headphones, I got them a while back and I've been enjoying them, but these headphones are weird. The last review that I tried to record of these, I ended up getting very boring, which actually, these headphones are boring, so it quite frankly was fitting. But for the sake of entertainment, here's a different review that's going to be, at least hopefully, higher energy. Let's get into this. So these headphones come with a nice carrying case, as well as your lovely tips, various other things, you know, the standard assortment plus a cleaning tool. Yeah, you get a good amount of kit, which is very fortunate because unlike many headphones, these have a very long nozzle that can be a little bit difficult to deal with. Here's your more standard nozzle tip. These are the Final Audio E4000s. And here's the tip of the Shure. And as you can see, it's much longer and thinner in diameter. This means you're probably going to be sticking with the stock tips, but that actually happens to be a good thing because stock tips are decent enough quality that I'm not really going to complain. They're not quite as good as actually these finals, which I highly recommend picking up if you've got a standard size nozzle. Otherwise, these do all right. These things cost $300, which I paid for with my own money. And I find them worth it for myself personally, because these are an IEM that I can listen to all day and never get fatigued, which is absolutely fantastic. These are a great daily driver if you want something that's not going to be fatiguing. The way that these IEMs sort of present the sound is the treble is very significantly rolled off, and then the bass is there. It's very detailed and present, but it also kind of trails off, especially when you're at lower listening volumes. When you crank these up, they do actually get a much more fun sound to them. It's still very flat. Everything just gets more detailed and powerful, and it's not just because you're increasing the volume. Vocals do sound actually fantastic on these, very clear. I use these for phone calls as well because it does come with a mic. Thank you, Shure, for having a premium headphone with a mic, even though this thing is absolutely a chonker. I don't know. Like, it's cool. They threw this switch on here to switch between Android and iOS. Sure, why not? But you can hear the clicks and pops when you press that, and this cable isn't exactly the best cable on the market, especially for even for something that comes with IEMs. I know so many people like to swap them out. It's your standard MMCX connector, so who cares? You can swap this out with whatever cable you want. It's very standard, but I do like a cable with a mic. Me personally, I use it for work, so this gets the job done. These things also block sound. They're a completely closed IEM, so these things isolate incredibly well. That means these things are a proper performance IEM, like their heritage, so enjoy that. The problem is, these things are boring. Something like the finals, you get some pump and bass. If you like that chi-fi sounds, then you're going to be really disappointed with the treble in these, because while it does have two drivers in here, one just focused on the treble, it's very rolled off. But it does have an interesting party trick that I actually really love, which is, while it doesn't have the most unified sound, something like what Final does where it's a single driver, instead, I think this might be partially because of the dual drivers, but what I found is that as you listen to these, you notice there's verticality to the sound based on the frequencies. So your bass feels like it's coming from the floor, and then your treble is like coming from above you, and then voices are, right at the level where they should be. So it feels like the singer's right in front of you, which really gets into some interesting stuff, because if you're ever doing audio work, that means that you have this really cool sort of perception of the frequencies, and I can actually identify what frequencies I'm working with if I ever do any audio work very quickly with these. And that's cool. These things are really cool because of that. But it's not that useful for your average audiophile or whoever, because they're not targeted towards an audiophile. They're definitely an incredibly useful IEM for somebody who's working with audio and who cares about how it sounds, because if you get something good sounding on these, they're going to sound good anywhere. They do that kind of job. So yeah, if you like that kind of sound, if you might find these useful for daily driving or for, actually doing audio work, I can highly recommend these. But for the average person, you're probably going to pass these. That's not the worst thing in the world, but you are missing out on something that's a very interesting experience, but probably not worth your money. Thanks for watching. If you could help me out, please subscribe. I really am trying to get this channel off the ground, but can't do that without the help of people who just stick around, leave a comment, Tell me how I can improve, because that's what I'm trying to do every day. Thanks.